Hey there, my name's Steve, co-founder of Orbiter, and today I'm going to show you how to deploy sites using our Orbiter CLI. And it's really easy and really simple. So first thing you want to go ahead and do is make sure you have at least Node version 20 installed. Let's go ahead and open up my terminal here. And we just do node -dev version. There we go, I have at least 20 installed, that's great. Do the same thing with npm. There you go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and install the CLI globally. So I'm going to do npm install-d orbiter CLI. And this is just going to go ahead and install everything we need. And to make sure that it's installed correctly, just go ahead and run orbiter. There we go. Have all of our commands, fun little graphic here. We're all set to go. Now the next step is authorizing your CLI. And there's a few ways you could do this. You could do this through OAuth, which is going to be Orbiter login. And then from here, you can choose your provider, whether it's Google, or if you want to do GitHub, you could do that. And it's going to take you to a login screen on your browser, and you can go ahead and authorize it, and it'll save the session tokens to your .dot files and just kind of keep you in sync. I personally kind of like using API keys instead. And so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just create a new API key here. Go to the API keys page. I am going to delete this later, so don't get any funny ideas. Just name it CLI. Just give it a scope of member. So we have our API key here. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that. And you're only going to see that once, so make sure you copy it, keep it somewhere safe. And back in our CLI, I can just do orbiter off. And this is going to ask me to input my API key. It'll keep it masked, which is nice. And there we go. It says it's stored successfully. So we should be all set to go. Now I can go ahead and actually deploy a site to Orbiter. And to do that, I'm going to actually go ahead and go into my desktop. And I have a project that's just called React Demo. So just go to cd React Demo. And you can see here, it's just a normal Vite React app. Very simple. And what I could do here is just go ahead and run Orbiter deploy. And this is going to ask for several things. First, it's going to look for a configuration file. If it doesn't find it, it's going to help you create one. And so I can either choose to link it to an existing site, or I can create a new site. I'm going to go ahead and do create new site. I'm going to say React CLI demo. That's going to be the domain of the site. So React CLI demo.orbiter.website. And I'm going to put it in the build command. So if you're using different package managers, or if your build script is a different command other than just run build, you can change that here. Mine is just going to be npm run build. And I can choose the directory. And I already know for a fact that Vite outputs a dist directory. So I can just do dist. And it's going to go ahead and actually create the site. It went ahead and ran our build command. It uploaded our dist folder, all of our files, to Orbiter, and now it is creating the site, and that's going to include things like setting up the subdomain, setting up the SSL, all that stuff. And we should be all set to go. If I actually go back to my dashboard here and refresh, here we go. We have our React CLI demo. I can click on it, and here is our React site, just like your regular template. Very cool. Now, what's really nice about this is if we list our files again, you'll see here that we have a orbiter.json file. If I just kind of cat the inputs here, we have a site ID, the domain, build command, build directory. So these are basically all of the settings for Orbiter deploy that it can use to update. So let's say I go into this here, and let's like change something. And we could say React Vite plus React plus Orbiter. That sounds fun. All right, and let's say I've updated my site, and now I want to update it on Orbiter. I just do Orbiter deploy. It's going to go ahead and load the configuration, run the build command once again, and then update the existing site. Let's give it a few seconds. Very fast. And if we refresh this page, here we go. Vite React plus Orbiter. Very cool. Now there's a lot more the Orbiter CLI can do. So for instance, if I list my files here, I have an index.html file. It's just a single file. Doesn't really need all of the build command stuff. It's just static files. So if I wanted to create a site with the Orbiter CLI for this, I could just simply do orbiter create-d, and that's going to be for domain or subdomain. I'll put sonnet orbiter, and then I'll do index.html or the path to the file. Let's go ahead and run this. That's going to go ahead and create the site. It's going to do all the same things, upload that single HTML file, create the domain, create the SSL certificate, all that stuff. And it should be done. And there we go. We have our HTML file. Very nice, very pretty, made by Claude. I love it. And yeah, and there it is. And of course, if we wanted to update it, we could very easily do that too. We just do orbiter update-d sonnet orbiter, and then just do the same thing. Very simple. And of course, you can even do a lot of your site management through here. So if I wanted to, I can run orbiter list, and I can actually list my sites, and I'll get all the extra information about them, things like the IDs, a lot of the stuff that's under the hood that makes this work. If I have custom domains, all sorts of really cool stuff here. And so all of this is available in the CLI. So I highly recommend you go to our docs, which is going to be docs.orbiter.host. You just go there real quick. And we have all of the information on different ways you can deploy your site, as well as all the commands available with our CLI. And there's a lot of good stuff there. So highly recommend check it out. And next time you think about launching your next site, check out orbiter.host.